Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulillah. Wa ba'd. I think we need some people to quiet down before we can start. Who's still talking? If you see somebody talking, just stare at them. All right, inshallah. Bismillah. So we left off on section 10 of Surah Al Imran, verse 92. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, لن تنالوا البر حتى تنفقوا مما تحبون. You will never attain piety. Piety means like righteousness until you spend some of what you love. Now the wording here is very interesting. First of all, Allah is saying that you can't be a really, really good Muslim until you're ready to spend some of what you love. Now, what do people love? They love money, but it's not just money. What else do they love? They love Allah. Yeah, you love Allah, right? But what do you love that belongs to you that you could actually give out some of? Food could be part of your possession. So it could be money, material possessions like gifts and toys and things that you have. But it's also your time, right? Time is something that people don't like to just give out to everybody else. So there are many things that you love. And when Allah is saying you cannot become a good Muslim until you give in charity or give for the cause of Allah, something that you love, that's intrinsically, that's hard to do. Because if you love it, you don't want to leave it, right? If you love something so much, it's hard to let it go. And Allah is saying that if it was so easy and you didn't love it and you gave it out, you say, you know what? Imagine you have like some really nice books that you love at your house. And then you have some books, you've read them so many times and they're kind of ripped up and everything. And you're like, we need you to give some books in charity to the children, some part of the world. It's so easy to give the messed up books that you don't really care about. It's hard to give the books that you love, right? So the thing is, which one is going to have more reward? Which one is going to actually show that you really are sacrificing for Allah? It's going to be giving up the things that you love. So Allah is saying, give up some of what you love. And the word mimma is very important. Mimma means you give up some of the things that you love. Do you have to give up everything that you love? That would be very hard. Allah would be asking for a lot. And if He tells us to, we have to do it. But He is merciful. He's not asking us, you have to give up everything. You're not allowed to have anything. Anything you love, you must give it for Allah. I'm not saying that. I'm saying you have to give some of the things up that you love to prove that you actually love Allah more. And that's really what it comes down to. It says, وَمَا تُنْفِقُوا مِنْ شَيْءٍ فَإِنَّ اللَّهَ بِهِ عَلِيمٌ. Whatever you spend is certainly known to Allah. So anything that you give from the things that you love, Allah knows it. Now, why is He reminding you of that? Because whatever you give, Allah is going to reward you for that. Because sometimes the thought comes into our mind. We give up something that we love. We give it in charity, or we give it for the cause of Allah. And then we're like, it feels so bad though. Like, I lost it. When you remember that you're getting repaid for it, when you remember that Allah is going to reward you for all of that, and you get a reminder, then all of a sudden you feel much better, right? If you had to give something up, imagine you gave up your favorite, your favorite toy or your favorite car or your favorite whatever it is. And then you know that in 1 month you're going to get something even better, brand new. Then you wouldn't feel so bad because you know it's coming to you. So when we remember that whatever we gave up, we're going to get something way better back, we feel better that way. But you have to put your trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The next verse. كل الطعام كان حلا لبني إسرائيل إلا ما حرم إسرائيل على نفسه من قبل أن تنزل التوراة. All food was lawful for the children of Israel, except what Israel made unlawful for himself before the Torah was revealed. Now, if you don't have any background about this verse will not make any sense to you. That's why sometimes you need the background story to understand the verse of the Quran. So first of all, we talked about many times who are the children of Israel, right? The children of Israel, Bani Israel, are the descendants of which prophet? Jabir, go ahead. Yaqub, Prophet Jacob. Now it says, except what Israel made unlawful for himself. Who is Israel? We're not talking about the evil state of Israel, right? The state of Israel today is named after which prophet? Prophet Yaqub. This was his nickname. The nickname of Prophet Yaqub was Israel or Israel. And what it's saying is that all the food was originally lawful for the children of Israel, except what Prophet Yaqub made haram for himself before the Torah was revealed. So, well, wait a minute, what's the story behind that? Why would Prophet Yaqub make something haram for himself? So, who decides what is halal and haram? Allah decides, right? But if you say, you know what, I'm really sick right now. I'm not feeling good. I'm lying in bed. I have a headache. Chocolate chip cookies for this week are haram for me because I know they're not healthy. And I'm only going to have them when I come to Quran class as an exception to the rule, right? But should you be eating them every single day? No. Should you be eating from breakfast, lunch, and dinner? No. So you can make it when you say, I'm not going to eat this thing, it's like making it haram for yourself. So what happened was Israel, Prophet Yaqub, Prophet Jacob, he got sick. And when he got sick, he said, I am forbidding myself anything that comes from camel meat or camel milk. Because in his day, that was known within the medicine, like the doctors and stuff would say at that time, when you get this type of illness, a specific type of, every type of sickness is a little bit different. When you get one type of illness that he had, you're supposed to avoid camel meat. You're supposed to avoid drinking camel milk. Okay. Otherwise, it's okay to eat camel meat and it's okay to eat camel milk, but he made it forbidden on himself. Not on there. He didn't tell all of his followers because he was a prophet. He had followers. And what religion did his followers follow? Islam. They were Muslims. Right? Islam means submission, surrender. So he made it forbidden and haram for himself. But what happens later on down the line? Some people later on say, you know what? It's haram to eat camel meat. And it's haram to drink camel milk. And our proof is our prophet Yaqub, who they come from. The Jews are going back to the ancestry, a lineage of the children of Israel, Bani Israel. They're named after him. So they're saying our great grandfather, who was a prophet, he said it's haram. He said camel is haram. So he said, wait a minute, hold on, look at the story correctly. Did he say it's haram for everybody? Or he said it's haram for himself? He was only saying that it's haram for himself. So some people came and they twisted that around and they said, no, you shouldn't eat anything from the camel or drink anything from the camel. Now, has anybody ever eaten camel meat here? One? You've eaten it? You've eaten it? Rami, you've never eaten camel meat? Come on, you can't live in Saudi and not eat it. Never? Who has been to Mecca or Medina before? Okay, next time you go, see, camel meat comes in two forms. One form is like the pieces, right? It's like cooked and very chewy and fatty and all that stuff. That's not my type of food. So I don't like that. But there's also something known as hashi burger. It's a camel burger and it's ground. I recommend if you can't do the real camel meat, you get a camel burger. And it's actually really good. It's camel meat. It's real camel meat. Absolutely. Yes. Who's ever drank camel milk before? Okay. So some of you drank camel milk. Some of you drink goat milk. Anyone drink goat milk? All right. So you've been drinking. Goat milk you can get easily from the store. Camel milk's a little bit harder. So if you want to drink camel milk, you'll have to go to Mecca or you'll have to go to Mecca. Who understands what I mean? No. You can either go to Mecca in Arabia or you can go to Mecca, California and get fresh camel milk. There's a Mecca, California. You drive from here 2 hours and there's a date farm called Mecca. Absolutely. They have fantastic date. And you know what's surprising? I went to Mecca in Arabia in front of the Kaaba and I was at one of the stores and I said, I'm leaving. I want you to give me the best dates that I can buy from here. And you know what they said? They said, these are the best dates. They came fresh from California. We suggest you bring them back with you. I said, you got to be kidding me. They said, I said, I want to buy the Medina dates. They said, no, no, trust me, the California ones are better. You should buy them. I said, I'm going back to, I'm made in California, you know? So yeah, it's near Indio. Yes. So you can drive on the way, on your way to that region, like Palm Springs area. I've been there. It's nice. You could drink, you can get fresh dates, you can get camel milk, you can get a lot of cool stuff over there. So camel milk, there's nothing wrong with it. Perfectly fine to drink. Camel meat, there's nothing wrong with it. It's perfectly fine to drink. But you know what the problem was? During the time of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, the Jews who were living in Medina, they wanted something to attack the Muslims. And these were Arabs, and Arabs have a lot of camels because they travel through the desert. So they drink a lot of camel milk and they eat a lot of camel meat. So they made up this story, whether they believed it or not, and they said, you can't be a real prophet because you're claiming that you're a prophet in the line of going back to Prophet Ibrahim. You can't be a prophet because from the religion of Prophet Ibrahim, camel meat and camel milk was forbidden and haram. So how could you possibly say that you're following the religion of Prophet Ibrahim? And what is the response? And it's saying this was done by only Prophet Yaqub for himself, and this was before the Torah was revealed. The Torah, when the Torah came down, which prophet did the Torah come to? Not Jabir. Which prophet did the Torah, was the Torah revealed to? The Torah. Prophet Musa. Which prophet was the Injil revealed to? Prophet Isa. Okay. So how much of a gap was there between Prophet Yaqub and Prophet Musa? Huge gap, right? So he's coming way before the Torah is being revealed. And when the Torah was revealed, there were a lot of strict laws. Remember, we talked about kosher laws and stuff like that. It was very strict because it was partly a punishment for the people of Prophet Musa because they were doing so many bad things like worshiping the golden calf and disobeying their prophet and not following him and doing all these other things. So the Torah came with lots of rules. But before the Torah came with all those extra rules, this was not prohibited during the time of Prophet Ibrahim or the time of his children Ishaq and Ismail or the time of Yaqub, who was the son of Ishaq. So it says, قُلْ فَأْتُوا بِالتَّوْرَاةِ فَاتْلُوهَا إِن كُنْتُمْ صَادِقِينَ. So it says, say. So Allah is telling the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, tell those people. Who are the people he's talking to? The Jews of Medina. Tell those people, bring your Torah and read it properly if your claims are true. But it's not. So would they do that? Because if they brought their Torah, what they would realize is it would say that these rules of animals, these are newly introduced for you. It didn't say that this was there from the time of Prophet Ibrahim. So they knew that these rules were only specifically for their time, not from the previous prophets before Prophet Musa. So it would have been the evidence against them. So they can't make this claim and say, you can't be a real prophet because you drink camel milk and you eat camel meat. You say, this doesn't make sense. And the reality, you know from your own books that Prophet Yaqub had an illness and he forbade it on himself, not forbidding it for everybody else. So this was a response to some of the propaganda that they were trying to trick the Muslims with. فَمَنِ افْتَرَى عَلَى اللَّهِ الْكَذِبَ مِن بَعْدِ ذَلِكَ فَأُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الظَّالِمُونَ. Then whoever still invents a lie about Allah, they will be the true wrongdoers. So if anyone still, after going back and checking their book, and they know that it's clear cut, it doesn't say that this is from the time of Prophet Ibrahim, and they still want to insist, no, the camel meat is forbidden all the way going back before the time of Prophet Musa, then they're inventing a lie because they know their book doesn't say that. So they're making it up just to confuse the Muslims and cause problems. Remember, they were doing something else to try to trick the Muslims into being confused about Islam. Remember the morning and evening thing? Who can remind me about that? What did they do in the morning and what happened in the evening? They ate too many cookies or what? In the back, Ali. Right. So they were pretending in the morning to be Muslim, and then in the evening they would leave in order to confuse the Muslims and say, oh, something must be wrong with this religion. قُلْ صَدَقَ اللَّهُ. Say, Prophet is being told to say, Allah has declared the truth. Allah has revealed the truth about Prophet Yaqub and about the revelation and about everything. So when Allah says something, that's what we take. فَاتَّبِعُوا مِلَّةَ إِبْرَاهِيمَ حَنِيفًا وَمَا كَانَ مِنَ الْمُشْرِكِينَ. So follow the way of Ibrahim, the upright, and he was not an idolater. He was not somebody who worshipped idols. So it's coming back and saying, listen, the problem with the Jewish community in the time of the Prophet Muhammad, as well as in many times throughout history, problem with the Jewish community is that they focus on their own race. It's all about that they believe that they're the chosen people, many of them, most of them, they believe that they're the chosen people and they are God's special people, and they cannot think outside of their own race. And what is the Quran trying to do? The Quran is trying to explain to them, say, wait a minute, before the term children of Israel, Bani Israel, even came about, that you guys are boasting about, that you come from this lineage, who came before? Who was the grandfather of Prophet Yaqub? It's Prophet Ibrahim. So go back and say, what religion did he follow? And it's saying again and again, go back to Prophet Ibrahim, and it'll explain to you that religion, the true religion of Allah, is more vast than just the little one subgroup that you guys are thinking that this is the only thing that matters. And then the next verse. إن أول بيت وضع للناس للذي ببكة مباركا وهدى للعالمين. Surely the first house built for humanity is the one at Bakkah. It is a blessed sanctuary and a guide for all people. So the first house, right? Does this mean like the first house that anyone has ever lived in? No. The first house for worship, meaning, so the masjid, any masjid, is known as Baytullah. It's known as the house of Allah. Why is it called the house of Allah? Not because Allah lives in a house. Not because astaghfirullah. Well, Allah doesn't need a house. So it's called Baytullah because that's the place where people go to worship Allah. You can pray to Allah anywhere, but why do people gather in one particular place? They're gathering in that place to worship Allah, so it becomes symbolically known as the house of Allah, the place of Allah. It's, you can say the place of Allah. Not Allah's place, the place where Allah is worshipped. That's what the house of Allah refers to. So what's the first house of Allah ever made, ever set forth for people? It is the special place known as the Kaaba in the city of Bakkah. You guys said, wait a minute. Earlier you said Mecca. This is a typo? Somebody messed up in the Quran? They put a ba? No. There's two names, Mecca and Bakkah. Bakkah is the same name as for Mecca, and what you find is there's an old name for Mecca is Bakkah. And you find, even in the Bible today, so all your Christian friends that you know, or your Jewish friends, if they go to their book, they will find mention of the valley of Bakkah inside their book, which is exactly the place where Prophet Ibrahim sent his son and sent his wife, Hajar. It's mentioned in the book. And what happened, well, it's a long story. I won't get into what happened. But basically, it's mentioned. So the Kaaba and Mecca is mentioned in the Bible as well, but it's not Mecca, it's Bakkah. Now, is Bakkah also mentioned in the Quran? Absolutely, it's right here. So there is a mention in some places in the Quran called Mecca. There's some places called Bakkah. Some places have different names because language evolves and changes over time. So there's more than one way of saying a particular name. Like, for example, we saw this already in Surah Al-Baqarah. It says, whoever is an enemy to Prophet Jibril and whoever is an enemy to Prophet Mikal, right? Mikal and Mikael are the same angel, the angel Michael. So the name Michael actually comes from, it's an Islamic term. So it's the name of an angel, right? Jibril and Jibrail. There's two ways to say the same name. So Mikal, Mikael. Jibril, Jibrail. Referring to the same angel. It's not two different. So it's two different ways to pronounce something. Same thing with Mecca and Bakkah. And the origin of the term comes from, it means the word city. It means the word city originally. So we won't get into the semantics of that, but so Bakka and Makkah are the same thing, and it's saying the first house ever built for the worship of one God, for the worship of Allah, was in Bakka. So scholars have two different ideas about this. Idea number one, two different theories about this. Theory number one is they say, well, Prophet Ibrahim lived a very long time ago, and before Prophet Ibrahim, there were many prophets. There was Prophet Noor, and there was Prophet, Adam, and there was so many other prophets there. So he says, before Prophet Ibrahim, people used to assemble and they used to gather together when they were praying under the prophets, but they didn't have a specific masjid that was meant for everybody to just come. So they said the first masjid that was built by Prophet Ibrahim, which was in Mecca, and that was designed to be for everyone. That's why it's the first house that was built. So this is theory number one. Theory number two is that the reason why it's the first house that's ever been built was because it was originally built by Prophet Adam. And then later on, Prophet Ibrahim came and he basically, Prophet Adam had just the foundations only, not walls or anything. It's just kind of like a small little thing with barely anything built. Prophet Ibrahim came and actually built the structure later on the same site where Prophet Adam had actually set the foundations, and that's why it's the first house that was designed for Allah. Now, is there any authentic, clear-cut narration about this? No. It's a theory. Could be true. Could be either one of these two reasons. Okay, so this was the first house, so it's saying basically this is a special place. Mecca is a special place because it has the Kaaba. The Kaaba is special because it was the first place that was built and dedicated to the worship of Allah. The next verse. فيه آيات بينات مقام إبراهيم. In it are clear signs and the standing place of Ibrahim. So what does it mean that there are clear signs in the house of Allah, which is the Kaaba, in Mecca or Bakka? Well, there are clear signs that there's something special about it because so many people are praying there. So anyone who goes there, you see like, wow, this is an amazing sight to see. So there are clear signs in the Kaaba when you go there and you see what's happening. And also there's the Maqam Ibrahim. Maqam Ibrahim is the place where Prophet Ibrahim stood. So where did he stand? You said, well, wait a minute. If you go to the Kaaba, you stand everywhere. You walk around the Kaaba. If you stop, you're standing in front of the Kaaba. It's not referring to that. It's referring to a standing place because remember, Prophet Ibrahim and his son, which son? Ismail, they built the Kaaba together. And the Kaaba was built with stone and required a lot of work. Now, in Mecca, so the walls of the Kaaba were not as high as they are today, but still, if you're building a building, imagine you're just building this building, right? Just this high. You're gonna need a ladder, right? Because you're gonna have to get the walls up there. How are you gonna get to the top? You need a ladder. Now, why don't you find a ladder in Mecca during the time of Prophet Ibrahim? What are ladders generally made of? Wood. No, not stone. Yeah, they're made of wood, right? So they're made of wood. How much wood do you have in Mecca? The middle of desert. You don't have plants. You don't have trees. You have almost nothing. So you don't have enough wood to make a proper ladder. So that's why the Kaaba was built from stone. And you had stone bricks, and they had to carry these stone bricks, and it's very heavy. You have to carry it and everything. And instead of a ladder, Prophet Ibrahim took a giant stone, and he used to use that as his ladder to stand on when he was going and building the higher parts of the walls of the Kaaba. That stone that he stood on is known as the Maqam Ibrahim, the place where Ibrahim stood. It's not just randomly standing. It's the place where he stood to build the Kaaba. And that stone, that area, that monument is still preserved until today. So when you go to the Kaaba, that Maqam Ibrahim is still there now. They put it enclosed in a like a nice glass case and got some gold just to make it look cool. So it's like a monument. You don't want everyone to mess up the stone. So you can see, so it's there. And they kind of moved it a little bit further away. It used to be at the Kaaba. They moved it a little bit back. So that's the Maqam Ibrahim. So it's saying we have even the remnants around the Kaaba of how Prophet Ibrahim was building. وَمَنْ دَخَلَهُ كَانَ آمِنًا. And whoever enters it should be safe. Whoever enters what? The stone? The house of Allah. You can't enter the stone. The house of Allah. So whoever goes into the house of Allah doesn't just mean in, but around that area. This was a place of security. This was a place of safety that everybody respected for the most part. So if somebody, let's just say, somebody even was a thief and they stole something from some other part of Arabia, they could go to Mecca and they could go in front of the Kaaba and they just stay there and they say, I'm just here to pray and I'm not leaving. People are waiting outside the gate of the city, and you are not allowed to do anything to that person as long as they're in this vicinity, because that's like a safe zone. It's why? To protect and preserve the awe of the area of Mecca and the Kaaba that's there. So it's supposed to be a safe place. No one's supposed to be fighting there. No one's supposed to be doing any of that stuff there. وَلِلَّهِ عَلَى النَّاسِ حِجُّ الْبَيْتِ مَنِ اسْتَطَاعَ إِلَيْهِ سَبِيلًا. Pilgrimage to this house is an obligation. It's farb, it's mandatory by Allah upon whoever is able to go. So Hajj, which means you visit Mecca, visit the Kaaba. It's a requirement in Islam. Once in your life, you have to go for Hajj if you can find a way. What does finding a way mean? Two things. Number one, you can afford it. And number two, you're physically able to go. So if you can't move, you're in a wheelchair or something. Even if you're in a wheelchair, you could probably still go. But like if you can't do anything, it's very hard for you. It's very painful, exception to the rule. So as long as you're able to go for Hajj, you have to go for Hajj once in your lifetime. So it's very important for every Muslim to have this in their mind. What some Muslims do is they go, yeah, I'll go soon, someday. And then they become 30 and they have a job and they start making money. I think I'm going to be promoted at work and I'm going to get a senior manager position. So let me wait a little bit. Maybe I'll go in a few years or something like that. Then they hit 40 and they're still waiting. You're not supposed to do that. As soon as you're able, you have the money on your own to be able to go, and you have the ability to be able to go, you're supposed to go. You're not supposed to unnecessarily delay going for Hajj. So it's very important you have in your mind that one day, every single person in this room should be going for Hajj once you have enough money to be able to go on your own. Or if your parents are just very nice, let's say we're going to let you come with us as well, we'll pay for your ticket, you get to go for Hajj. But you should be doing it when you're an adult as well. وَمَنْ كَفَرَ فَإِنَّ اللَّهَ غَنِيٌّ عَنِ الْعَالَمِينَ. Whoever disbelieves, and remember the word kafara has two meanings. It means disbelief and it means to reject. So whoever rejects that, what just came before, whoever rejects Hajj, it's like disbelieving in Islam. فَإِنَّ اللَّهَ غَنِيٌّ عَنِ الْعَالَمِينَ. Allah is not in need of any of His creation. Allah doesn't need any of these things. So the one thing is, Hajj is something that's so important in Islam. If you just neglect it, be like, I don't need to perform Hajj, you're almost like outside of Islam. Like if you reject something in Islam that is so fundamental and so important in Islam, it's like you're almost not Muslim. So it's very, very important to do that. So that's one hint that's there. And the second thing is, if you don't go for Hajj, Allah is reminding you, He doesn't need your Hajj. Why is Allah telling you need to go for Hajj? Because Allah is going to benefit from all the people going for Hajj and worshiping Him? Allah gets no benefit whatsoever. You need the benefit. It's not that Allah needs anything. Allah gets nothing. If everyone were to decide and say, you know what, none of us are going for Hajj anymore, is it going to affect Allah in any way at all? No way at all. It's something that we need. Now, some of you might have seen that because of what's happening in Palestine, some people are calling for a boycott of Hajj and a boycott of going to Umrah. I'll tell you what. Has anyone heard this, by the way? No. Nobody's heard this? No one even like checks my WhatsApp group or asks Sheikh Mustafa. Yeah, you can add yourself, inshallah, to the website. That's good. Live without a phone until you're 25, inshallah. It's better for your health. So people are saying that we need to somehow pressure the Saudi government to intervene in Palestine against Israel, and therefore our solution to helping the people of Palestine is to boycott the Hajj and the Umrah. This is a horrible solution. I don't know who came up with this idea, right? And it's come up, this is not the first time. This is the third time I've seen in the last 10 years an idea of someone wanting to boycott, Mecca. Remember, the key here is, first of all, it's not going to have that much of an amazing effect. All right, number one. Number two, who needs the Hajj? We need it, right? It's not like, you know, it's not like we don't need it. We need that. That's going to make the ummah, that's going to make the Muslim community stronger. So be careful about what ideas you're exposed to and things like that. Hajj and the Kaaba, visiting Mecca, whether or not you drink the camel milk or eat the camel burger, just visiting the Kaaba, it's so important. It's a part of Islam. We should never delay it or neglect it. Okay, so I'll leave it at that. Open it up to questions. So, any questions? No, it's not the black stone. Black stone's a little tiny thing. This is a giant stone that used to stand on. The black stone is a marker where Prophet Ibrahim put in the corner of the Kaaba, which tells everyone where to start their tawaf from. Yes, of course it's important. Yes, we start from there, and the Prophet used to show respect to the Kaaba by kissing the black stone. So if you can ever get close enough, you can kiss it, which is probably never going to happen in your life, because it's very, very busy. Huh? If you do, then great. Alhamdulillah. It's just showing respect. You don't. Some people think you automatically go straight to Jannah if you kiss the black stone. That's not true at all. That's right. They take their baby, and there's some people that shove their baby in there. Like baby's gonna like get blessing or something. There's no special blessing. It's just a nice thing to do because the Prophet did it to show respect. All right. Don't shove the babies inside. Yes. Al-Aqsa, you mean? You mean Masjid Al-Aqsa? You're talking about Medina? Or what are you talking about? City of Medina? Who made Medina? So the Medina was already a city. Who made the Masjid in Medina? The Prophet, peace be upon him, and the Sahaba. They built it. Yes, the black stone has been stolen before for many years. They brought it back and it was crushed into pieces. So actually the black stone now is actually only remnants, small pieces remaining, and they plastered it together again. So we have, what's that? There's only one of those black stones in the world, yes. What type of stone is it? I'm not sure. Some people say it's a meteorite, so it's possible that it could be. But yeah, it's a special type of stone. But what makes it special is not the stone itself. What makes it special is that Prophet Ibrahim put this as the marker to start the tawaf in the Kaaba. That's what makes it special. There's a hadith about this. It's a weak hadith. People find it very, very interesting. So there's a lot of reflection about that. So the authenticity of the hadith is disputed. And again, even whether it should be taken literally or symbolically is also disputed. So I try not to give too much weight to that. You know, what's happened is there's a most famous book, Sirah book by Martin Lings called Muhammad, where most people who read that became like a really big part in the beginning. And because most people don't even read the whole book, but they get through like a few chapters, that's like their knowledge of Islam. Because this is what they read. They got through 10 pages and it happened to be like in the first 10 pages and everybody knows about this and they just find it super interesting. But it's not really the whole story. Okay? Just put it this way. It's the rock. What the number one reason why it's special is because Prophet Ibrahim put it in the Kaaba as a major marker. The reason number one. Reason number two why it's special is because it said that this was a stone that was sent by Allah in whatever way, sent by Allah, so that they could make this the marker. So it was like a special gift coming from Allah. Then comes the other three, reason number 3 and 4, which are like maybes. Some people say it's a meteorite. It came from out of space because they said it came from out of this world in the sense that Allah sent it. Then what if it's a meteorite? Okay, that's fine, but that's not reason number 1 or reason number 2 why it's special. And then they say, well, it turned color and it changed color and this and that. That's reason number 4 based on even not a strong authentic narration of why it's special. So people focus so much on 3 and 4, which are like maybes, but they forget 1 and 2. 1 and 2 is the most important. No. It's telling people to not harm anyone. It doesn't say, by the way, in the Kaaba. It means around the Kaaba as well. So not inside the Kaaba. So anyone around the Kaaba should not be harmed by you. We must keep the sanctity of Mecca special. It doesn't mean like it's some guarantee. The Kaaba has been attacked and bombed in history. It's been catapulted. The Kaaba has been on fire, right? So there's some bad history that happened. So no, it's not a guarantee of like special protection. You walk in there and be like, can't touch me. I'm 100% safe from Allah. That's not what it's saying at all. It's saying that you guys need to show respect to the Kaaba by making this a safe place. We know who stole the black stone. There was a group called the Qaramita, the Karmatians. They stole it. Yeah. So basically the brother's reminding us. Yeah. So I'll go ahead and tell people, inshallah. So Omar reminded people that the stone is a stone, the black stone. So he spoke to the stone when people were listening, and he said, "You're just a stone, and the only reason I'm showing respect to you is because the Prophet Muhammad showed respect to you. Otherwise, I wouldn't have even kissed you or touched you." So this is a good reminder for people because some people exaggerate when they go to the stone. Good, thank you. Hamza. If we had the original version of the Torah and the Injil, it wouldn't be exactly the same, but the content and the message would agree almost across the board with the Quran. Yes. Yeah, there was the Kaaba was taken over for a while in like the what was it, the 70s or 90s? 80s, 1980s. Yeah. Just he built the walls with stones, and he put the last black stone as the marker in the corner where to start. Not inside, no, in the corner, built into the corner wall of the Kaaba. In the past, someone has stolen the black stone. Yes. Right. Let's see. They were a very, very deviant sect, which basically means it's a group of people who say that they're Muslims, but they're so far away from Islam. They have a very confused set of beliefs and all that. So they're probably like either barely Muslim or not Muslim, but calling themselves Muslim. That was the group of people. They were not exactly. The hypocrites are pretending to be something else, but these people were openly saying what they were and what they believe, but they had very strange beliefs. All right, Yusuf. As far as I know, it's been stolen only once. What happened to the person who stole the black stone? I think he was killed. Okay. Yes. Yeah, so and he's gonna be punished by Allah, which is much worse than me. He got killed for many, many reasons. Obviously, the Muslims in the whole world hated him because he stole the black stone. So that's part of it. I don't remember who exactly killed him and how he died. But yeah, it was gone for many, many years. The guy, he probably died. He probably got killed, and that's how they got the black stone back. All right. Yeah. Yes, Jabir. I've been to Hajj before. Yeah. More than once. All right. Last question. Make your wudu again. Yeah. Yeah. So according to one school of thought, Hanbali school, you have to make wudu if you eat camel meat again. Again, the other scholars, the majority of scholars say you don't have to, but if you do, it's better to be on the safe side. You might as well do it. Don't drink it. Don't drink it. All right. So there's a hadith about something, and one of the narrations of the hadith has to do with mixing it with milk, and it has to do with this only being for a specific type of illness, not for some random average people to be drinking. So do not do something like that. No, we don't know. We don't know exactly what type of illness it is. Inshallah, you never get that. All right. Subhanakallahumma bihamdik. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa ant. Astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik. Assalamu alaikum.